Now that we've established the top 5 best and worst units in Fall of the Samurai, it's time to look at something a little more specific, the top 5 most powerful. This is a list I covered on Vanilla Shogun 2 as well, and while Fall of the Samurai doesn't have as many unique units, it does certainly have a lot of units that make short work of the enemy. To clarify, by most powerful I'm simply talking about the rate at which a unit can kill. I'm not taking into account any other statistics. However, since this list is made more for entertainment purposes rather than science, I have taken a little bit of creative liberty to avoid this becoming a list of the top 5 best line infantry units. With that out of the way, let's dig in. Starting us off at number 5 are Shogitai, the Nodochi samurai of Fall of the Samurai, even though they use a katana and not a Nodochi. Out of all the melee infantry in the game, Shogitai are the ones that will dish damage out the quickest once they reach an enemy line. While their actual charge bonus might not be that insane on paper, combining it with their ridiculously high melee attack skill makes for a devastating charge attack. That's without even having mentioned Banzai, which increases not only their speed, but their charge bonus and melee attack as well, meaning that once these guys reach an enemy line, their fight will be over in seconds. Even if the initial charge doesn't kill a unit off in its entirety, it will certainly have suffered significant losses, making the rest of the fight for the Shogitai that much easier. Needless to say, if I saw these guys charging towards me, my pants would be soiled toot sweet. Next up at number 4 are Shogunate Guard Cavalry, the second melee unit of the list, this time on horseback. If you didn't think the Shogitai's charge bonus was high enough, then this unit might be more up your alley. Shogunate Guard Cavalry have the single highest base charge bonus in the game. In fact, no other unit even comes close. It's not even a contest. If I was making a list of the best charging units, these guys would be so far up, they'd have to parachute down. But I'm not, so they won't. That said, this unit is basically Shogitai on steroids. They might not have access to Banzai, and they have less than half the men, but somehow they kill enemies even quicker. A single charge from these on anything but spear units will absolutely destroy it. They might not have the same staying power and they'll die even faster to gunfire, but we're not considering those things in this video. This is all about the murder rate of a unit, and Shogunate Guard Cavalry are pretty solid murderers. Moving on to number 3, where I have placed Revolver Cavalry. The time of melee units is over, it's all guns from here on out. Revolver Cavalry have long been my favourite unit in Fall of the Samurai. They're just so crazy. They're very reminiscent of the Otomo Blunderbuss Cavalry of Shogun 2, which I placed at number 1 on the most powerful units in Shogun 2 list. Where the Revolver Cavalry differ though, is that they do a similar amount of damage in each volley, but they fire a volley every 2 to 3 seconds rather than every 10. Revolver Cavalry will mop up any unit in a matter of seconds, whether it's an early game levy or a late game line infantry. Once Revolver Cavalry start firing, there's no point even asking if the enemy has any last words, as they'll be dead before you've even finished asking the question. Similar to Shogunate Guard Cavalry, Revolver Cavalry have some downsides, but as we only care about killing as fast as possible, we're going to ignore their low ammo and range. That stuff just isn't relevant. That brings us to number 2, where I've placed Guard Infantry. Shogunate, Imperial, Republican, take your pick, they're all the same. Guard Infantry is one of those units you don't really see very often in your campaigns, because they're so hard to recruit, and because you can't recruit more than 6. But when you do use them, oh boy are they devastating. It's hard to embellish words about a line infantry killing at a rapid rate. I can't talk about how majestic their charge is, or how I shit my pants at the mere sight of them. In reality, they just kinda stand there, fire their guns, and then there's no more enemy, like they were never there. This is where the list gets kinda dull, if you will. As I alluded to at the start of the video, if this list was true to its name, there would just be 5 different late game line infantry units, and it would be very difficult to differentiate between them, as they all kill in the same way, with only small differences in speed and accuracy. So I'll just immediately move on to number 1, where I've placed Infantry de Marine, the French line infantry unit. Rather than talking about how this unit is slightly faster at killing than Guard Infantry, I'll just continue my previous thoughts. If this list was true to its name, it would have been made up of regular infantry, Guard Infantry, United States Marines, Royal Marines, and Infantry de Marine, in that order, as they would have been the fastest killers in the game. But is that something you would have enjoyed watching? I think not. I felt it only right to mention them, as otherwise I might actually get people accusing me of clickbaiting, which is something I generally try to avoid. Anyway, this video has kinda turned into me talking about only mildly related subjects, so let me share with you my final thoughts on Infantry de Marine. Oh, très bien! With that, we have reached the end of the video. Does your list look similar, or would you have included different units? Let me know in the comments. Do you think Yari Ashigaru are the bomb? Then get yourself a Yari Amazing t-shirt on my official merch store. Finally, if you'd like me to make more of these videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you very much for watching, have a good day, and goodbye.